This story makes me never want to go inside a house where someone recently died. This happened years ago to my mother. Our neighbors had just suffered the kind of loss no parent should ever have to experience. Their daughter had gone to bed one night complaining of a severe headache. At first, no one thought it was anything more than that, a headache. But sometime during the night, she passed away. They later found out it had been an aneurysm. One day she was alive, the next, gone. After the funeral, her parents couldn't stand being in the house anymore. Everywhere they looked, there was something that reminded them of her. Her room, her clothes, the places she used to sit, the little traces of a life that had suddenly stopped. So they decided to leave town for a while. They just needed to get away. Before they left, the father asked my uncle if he would stop by the house and take care of their pets while they were gone. My uncle agreed, and the first time he went over, my parents went with him. They weren't expecting anything strange. They were just doing a favor for a grieving family. When they arrived, the house had a heavy quiet about it. Like you can tell something tragic just happened. The animals were kept down in the basement, so he and my father headed downstairs to feed them. My mother stayed on the main floor. She had heard the family owned a grand piano, and she had always wanted to play one. So while my uncle and father were in the basement, she walked over to the piano, sat down, and lifted the cover from the keys. When she started playing, everything felt normal at first. The notes filled the room, soft and echoing, bouncing off the walls of the house that had been too quiet for too long. Then she felt something brush against her ankle. Just a light, quick touch, almost like an animal had walked past her. She stopped playing and looked down. Nothing was there. She figured one of the cats must have slipped out of the basement without my father or uncle noticing, so she ignored it. She turned back to the piano and started playing again. A few seconds later, she felt it again. This time it was stronger. Something brushed against both of her ankles. She froze. Slowly, she leaned forward and looked underneath the piano. There was nothing there. No cat, no dog, nothing. Just the dark space beneath the piano bench. She sat there for a moment, listening. The house remained silent. From somewhere below her, she could faintly hear my father and uncle moving around in the basement. But on the main floor, she was alone. At least she thought she was. She told herself she was being ridiculous. The family had just lost their daughter. The air in the house already felt heavy. Her mind was probably imagining things, so she placed her hands back on the keys and started to play one more time. That's when two small hands clasped tightly around her legs, both ankles at the same time. My mother screamed, shoved herself away from the piano, and ran straight for the basement door. She yelled for my father and uncle to come upstairs, but she didn't wait inside for them. She ran out of the house and stood out on the front lawn, shaking. A minute later, my father and uncle came outside. My uncle could tell immediately that something was wrong. He asked her what happened. My mother told him everything. The piano, the brushing against her ankles, looking underneath and seeing nothing. Then the hands grabbing her legs. As she explained it, my uncle's face went pale. He then told her something the family had mentioned before. The daughter who had passed away used to love when her father played the piano. When she was little, she would crawl underneath the bench while he played and grabbed his ankles. Then she would push his feet up and down on the pedals like it was a game. My mother had been sitting at that same piano, in that same house, only days after the girl had died. Maybe it was grief, or a memory replaying itself, or maybe that little girl heard someone playing the piano and crawled underneath one last time. If you enjoyed the story, hit like and subscribe for new scary stories I post weekly. If you want another one right now, click the link in the description. Thanks for watching.